All right, I have returned. What were we doing? Yeah. It's not been that long. We were going to try to move some of the script from our main node to the camera node's script. To yeah, do things and stuff. Let's just like cut, paste. Um, But what's fun here, right? So we don't need to do camera dot anymore. In fact, let's just like, yeah, I know. Yeah, just replace all of those with nothing. We don't have camera move speed or camera zoom fast multiplier or a bunch of these other things because they're things on the main node. I guess I can take the camera settings here. We don't need an export group. Put these on the node directly. And that just means we don't have zoom between. We don't need that in this script anymore, so we move that over to here. And self, right? Okay. So this might work. Do we reference the camera? Oh, we do, because we use that to project from where the camera is. Okay, so we still need that camera reference in the main script. So there's all of that, and then we have set the camera's process mode to always. So how does this work? Is it just me, or does it feel like the okay, I can pause. Oh, and I can move the camera, but there's a problem. It feels, oh right, I probably had settings over, like I had overridden settings on main. Let's see. Camera move speed should be bigger. Oh, that's better. Oh yeah, much better. Let's do like 30. Oh yeah, that's nice. And then camera zoom speed, zoom step, max size. Let's make the fast multiplier bigger, like 5. Should make it when I hold shift and zoom in, it goes a lot faster. That's nice. Much more responsive. Now, as to why these things are sticking, that's probably because the UI. Let's look at the remote tree. Let's figure out what those things are. So let's go back to the game tab. Is it inside of the UI? Is it this? Yeah. So the UI probably should have its process mode set to always. There we go. All right, now we can move around. And that should mean that, yeah, this works. Nice. Okay, so let's go back to local and make sure I change it on the actual thing. Process always. Cool. Let's stop that. Play it again. So if I pause, that works. Unpausing doesn't work though, because those controls are also on the main script. Right here. So should these not live here then? Maybe I should put them in the UI node script, since it's going to be process always. Can we, oops. Yeah, fuck. Input. Actually just process, right? Yeah. Delta. We don't actually need delta. Okay, so if I run this, okay, yay, toggling pause works. What doesn't work is the button doesn't get updated. It should switch. Let's see, is that speed controls? Yeah. So that change happens when this is called, and this is true. This is true when get tree.paused is true. Let's see. So is maybe update button states isn't getting called? Oh, right, because it's not a game state change or a speed change, or is it? Maybe it should be. So let's go to the game manager. So we're not currently providing a signal when the game is paused or unpaused. I guess the question is, do we want to make another signal? Or not? Another option here is to make game state not just an enum, but like have it be multiple, like an object, essentially, of like, okay, the part, like, are we displaying the menu or not? Is the game paused or not? Even like condense the signal down so it's not, we don't have separate signals, is an option. Or we add another signal that represents the game being paused or unpaused. Or we call speed changed. Maybe we just call speed changed. We emit it, right? So we say speed change.emit 0. Yeah. Current speed multiplier toggling. Yeah, there you go. So emit the current speed multiplier if the new value of tree.paused is false, otherwise 0. Hold on, this could be clearer if we just do this the other way, right? If we say 0 if tree paused, else current speed multiplier. Yeah, that's clear. So now speed changed will get emitted if the game is paused or unpaused. And that means our buttons will get updated as well, right? So if we reload and I hit space, that changes the speed control. Cool. Yeah, that's pretty good. I think that I bet there's edge cases. Like, so if we pause the game, can we? Yeah. Okay. The hotbar items should not be interactable if the game is paused. So for that, we need to go into the UI scene and go to the hotbar and change process to be pausable. Yeah, that should be good. Right, so then if we pause the game, we can't interact with these. We can't hit 1 or 2 either to do stuff. And And we can no longer get a free shot in when the game is paused. But we can still zoom in. Oh, I see. I think I want to change the behavior of these buttons, not to be like focusable, right? Because now I can like hit space and it tries to activate the button and then also interacts with the pause unpause. So I think that's a thing that happens inside the script though, right? When we put things into the okay, so probably some stuff in here. What would you button dot something? What? I don't know. What is the thing that we need to do to make it so that is it focus mode? Focus access mode for the control. Only one control can be focused at the same time on your keyboard. Okay, so we want to set this to focus done. Let's see what that does. Yeah, there's no longer a focus there, right? So if we pause and we click this, yeah, spacebar no longer interacts with that. Nice. Okay. Yay, that was easy. Oh boy, we made a bunch of changes. I think this is mostly to do with how we changed the behavior of pausing, right? So, no, that's not true. Split game menu and in-game menu and pause functionality. Allow camera control while paused is really like the summation of what we did in here, right? Like, what did we change in Game Manager? We added an in-game menu state instead of a pause state, and just convenience methods. We moved our toggling of the menu and pause into the UI node, the control node that this script extends. Yeah, so I think that's that. The next thing I would like to do is I would like the ability to maybe use like less than and greater than to switch between game speeds. Yeah. So let's do that. Do we have... Yeah, we don't really... So we have kind of a mixture of... I think generally what we're doing is we're like object and then action is sort of the thing, right? So camera zoom out, camera zoom in. Oh, and then we have separate keys versus... Yeah, okay, that's fine. Place... Oh, and this is the opposite, right? So this if this was like the other ones, it should be like obstacle place. Obstacle rotate left, but instead it's like place obstacle. Yeah, so a thing I could do, a thing worth considering is like a systematic way of describing what these actions are. But anyway, since we don't have that, I'm gonna make up whatever seems right now. So what I want is the ability to I guess it's gonna be like game speed increase and game speed decrease. Okay, so game speed increase is gonna be this, and game speed decrease is gonna be that. Cool. And then we just need to implement that behavior. I think. Also, this is weird. This should just be like else if. Oh, we're in diff mode. Let's save that. Close all. Oh, there we go. All right. Right. That just saves us having to say return. Game speed increase. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly like that, Copilot. Except those things don't exist yet. So let's make them. Right. So currently we have this like set game speed, get game speed. So, worth considering. Implicit in the idea of being able to just have operations to increase and decrease game speed is that there are fixed game speeds that we're going between. Now, currently, in speed controls, we have baked in what those speeds are here. So there's two ways I'm seeing this working, right? So can we, in speed controls, have this is action just pressed, and just like do this input handling in speed controls. And then we've essentially we're keeping the actual logic of the game speeds are paused 1x, 2x, 4x. So that's one way of doing it. I think the other way of doing it is to have like in the game manager, or in this place, in this case, I'm putting that centralized logic in the game manager, but we could have multiple things. But let's just say in the game manager, here are the available speeds, and then speed controls just ask the game manager what are the different speeds, and then creates the buttons and hooks everything up based on that. That is potentially less code, but maybe more complex in terms of like the interaction of things. Especially, I think doing it here is going to probably be more flexible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out. We are going to provide func process, and get rid of that. And then instead of increase game speed, how is this going to work? Hold on 1 second. To do. Hold that thought. One of the things I've noticed with like Copilot, with like AI autocomplete, is that if you're trying to like switch away from doing things, like if you have a bit of code and you have like this, right? And then you want to change this, Copilot is just going to keep on suggesting like the thing that matches the pattern. So we get rid of that. And we could do something like this. So if game speed decrease is pressed, if we're paused, well, we should stay paused. That's wrong. This is the opposite. This is actually the increase branch. I'm not saying we should do this. But okay, if it's decrease, then if we're paused, we do nothing. If the current speed is 1, we do nothing. If the current speed is 2, we go to 1. If the current speed is 4, we go to 2. Oh, wait. If the current speed is 1, we pause. Right? If we're paused, is pass a thing? In I guess it is. All right. We do nothing. Right. And the reason for this is because we don't want to. If we're paused, the game speed could still be 1, but we're paused. So we don't want to try to pause again. I guess it would be harmless. We can call pause game multiple times. But conceptually, this is easier to think about. If we're paused, do nothing. If it's 1.0, pause the game. If it's 2, go to 1. If it's 4, go to 2. Right? Because this expresses like all of the different possible states. If we're going the opposite direction, if we're paused, resume the game. Here, there we go. So if the game speed is 0, go to 1. If the speed is 1, go to 2. If the speed is 2, go to 4. If the speed is 4, do nothing. We could do fancier things, where we like do math on the numbers, but why? But why? What if we just do this? I can pause, and then I can increase my speed, and I can go all the way down. Nice. It works. All right, and I can hit that, and I can hit quit, and that works too. Nice. All right. So add game speed, increase, decrease controls, and update input mappings. Nice. All right, push all that up, and that's in our GitHub repo over yonder. Sabin / Godot Tower Defense. We are at 43 commits now. Over the course of about a month and a half. Yeah. Just my stars so far, but maybe other people will find it interesting. Yeah, there's a new button there, agent task. Let's see. So far today we've been kind of just like chipping away at things that have surfaced on the game as we've been playing around with it. But I also have a backlog of things that I wanted to do here. So there was this thing about damage. Oh yeah, attack animations, right. Oops, too far back. I don't know. I think when I was thinking about this, I wasn't sure what the enemies were going to be. Now that they're zombies, we probably still want some kind of like some kind of graphical effect when the zombies hit things. This reminds me of what I was going to say before, that I get distracted by the fact that pause wasn't cooperating with me. Which is that, and like not being able to zoom in, because I wanted to be able to have a visual reference of like what I wanted to talk about, which is that obviously right now we have this box, magenta box, that is the thing that the zombie wants to hit and destroy. Well, we want to replace this with a character, and so what I'm imagining is, in fact, I think I showed this on stream last time. Let's see if this is still right. So we have something where it's like zombies. Those are zombies, right? Not turtles. Anyway. And we have characters that we're trying to protect, right? And this kind of concept. Oh, I see. I branched this conversation. Let's go back to the other one. Boop, boop, boop. Right. So, kind of imagining what the levels are. It'll be bigger scale than this, right? So more like this scale, or maybe a little bit bigger. So like think about this image, but maybe zoomed out 2 or 3 times, right? So we have like cliffs and other physical obstacles, and the opposite of obstacles, like roads that are terrain that we cannot build defenses on, right? Because otherwise it's too easy, right? If we have a tower defense game where you can essentially build, I mean, I guess maybe even that's fine if the defenses are destructible and enemies are smart enough to like destroy them. Maybe that's fine too. So I don't know. So I think a mixture of like positive and negative terrain and destructible obstacles, aka defenses, and then we'll have turrets and stuff, like flamethrowers and I don't know, machine gun nests or something. I don't know. That can be a thing. Okay. But the idea would be that we're trying to defend survivors, right? So it's survivors versus zombies, and we're kind of like in a god mode, defending, trying to save the survivors because they can't. They made it this far, but they need a little help, I guess is the the idea. So we do have another texture or two for our survivors from our free set of animated characters that we got. So maybe we can mess around with that. And instead of having a box, we can have an idle character here that the zombies are trying to attack. And that can be a thing. So right now, we have this target. So it's its own scene, right? So it's just, it is a mesh instance 3D, and it has a health component on it with some hit points. And how does this work? I don't know. What did we do with the enemy? So when we have our entities, oh yeah, right. So right now we have an enemy template. I think we want to have, oh, there it is. Okay, that's this. Does target have a script? It does. Okay, it's just like log the thing happened, and then remove the target when it's done. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so we're just gonna make the target, the base target, just like the base enemy, right? So the enemy scene is this guy, which has character medium, skeleton 3D. This has a navigation agent because they pathfind. We have attack, health, shake effect. Do we actually see that in the game? Do we actually see that when stuff is happening? No, not anymore. Not anymore. We don't. What's up with that? Shouldn't there be? Okay, so shake effect. I don't. Okay, what does this do? So there's a tween. Oh. So one thing I learned the other day that can like save us some effort, right? So what I have been doing to date is when I want to attach a script to a node and then use that node multiple times, how I have been doing that is I've been creating a scene with a node and then attaching the script to the node. And then so we have this scene file, right? So if I were to go back here, let's go back here. Let's close shake effect. Let's go to the enemy. I think this just has the default magnitude, so I'm not going to miss out on anything if I just delete this. Yep, bye. I'm going to go to common effects, shake effect, this scene. I want to delete the scene. So base enemy. Oh, I didn't save this. Okay. It's like, it'll warn you if things are referencing it, right? So now nothing references it. So we're going to remove the scene. Now, when I go to the enemy, add child node. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to go back to shake effect.gd. We're going to add a class name, shake effect. And then add child node. There's shake effect, and I can just directly add it. I'm curious about something. So if I want a description, no, don't attach the script, but rather add this node as a child to any entity that has a health component to enable this effect. Is that true? I think not, because we are missing a key element here, right? So damage taken as a method probably needs to be hooked up to a signal. Oh, okay, yeah. So anyway, so let's try. Basically, I wanted to see if I added some comments to the node, whether it would show up. Okay, so just the first part. So again, it's that it's having two. In fact, let's get rid of this. There we go. Learning things. Shake effect. A component that adds a shake effect to any entity to an entity when it takes damage. The shake effect is achieved using a tween to animate this. Add this node as a child of any entity that has health component to enable this effect. Not really true yet. All right. So now we don't need a separate scene file. We have the shake effect, but what we need to do is we need to go to health. It has this damage signal, and we want to connect it to the shake effect. Connect. So I think, I mean, this is fine. This is something I've been thinking about in terms of like setting up reusable components and nodes and this sort of thing, is like remembering to hook up signals, remembering to hook up things. How does the health script work again? Right, it just emits signals, right? Which is nice and easy. I think the downside is, of course, again, you have to remember to hook up signals to things, right? Versus some of the things I've been playing around with are like, you can put the node underneath the node, and then the parent node is like, oh, I have these children nodes, and I'll do things with them, or I'll look for a specific one. That's like how there was something I did with health or attack that's like that. Anyway, can we see this working? Yeah. Here, let me get it. Oh, right. Of course. I need to give the zombies more health, so we just have a more opportunities to hit them. I'll tell you what, let's let them get really close. Oh yeah, look. If you hit them, they shake. I mean, it's an effect. Wow, so much logging. Yeah, output overflow. Print less text. Got it. Anyway. Okay, so that fixed that, which is fine. But the main thing I want to do is I wanted to go to target, and we're going to do the same thing over here of adding our shake effect, right? And then we go to health, and we go to the node. Now, can you hook up a signal to multiple things? Yes. Good. Cool, cool, cool. All right, so if we run this, and we let... Interesting. That's an interesting behavior that we've created. I think the zombie hitting the target knocked it far enough that it's no longer within its range of attack, but it has decided that it's where it was supposed to be, so it's not trying to navigate anymore. Because the shaking probably doesn't... Oh yeah, it doesn't cause the navigation mesh to update. Which means our shake effect is wrong, because the shake effect should put the object back where it originally was. Yes. So what does this do? So we have a magnitude that defaults to 0.1. And what we do is we tween. Let's see, what are these methods here? Creates and appends a method tweener. This method is similar to a combination of tween callback and tween property. It calls the method over time with the tweened value provided as an argument. So it's method, from, to, and duration, right? So it's saying go from to over this duration, and going between them is calling this function with the values between these two things over that period of time. And it seems like calling tween method multiple times appends, right? So it seems like first we do this change. So we call shake offset with this offset. And these are essentially, what does shake offset do? It adds the x and y offset as x and z values, right? So moving not vertically, but left, right, back, forward in 3D space of the parent node, right? That's why we're setting the shake effect node to be a child of the target or the enemy. So essentially we move, oh, right. So this, I see. Can we, so tween method, we can pass a 3D vector. Yes. So maybe instead of passing it to these 2D vectors, we pass the 3D vector, and we start with a global position, and because what's happening here is we are not moving at the target an amount of shake magnitude. What we are doing is we are moving We are moving in an amount that is the number of steps that this is called from 0 to shake magnitude. This third argument is duration, right? Right. So it's like however many times it decides it needs to split up the transition between these two vectors over the course of a half of a tenth, a 20th of a second. That's how many times it's adding this to the x value of global position. Right? And the fact that it's kind of awkward to just say all that is exactly why this is a problem. Yeah, I think... How is this going to work? Okay, I think I see. So the first thing I want to do is I want to replace all the instances of vector 2 with vector 3. Sometimes just Control H is easier. Vector 3. That's the only place. Okay, cool. So replace all those. And it's not going to be happy for reasons. But what we're going to do is we're going to say var, original position is this. And then instead of starting at 0, we start at original position. And then what we want to do is we want to tween to original position plus this, right? And also, yes, don't do that. What we need to do is we want to make the y component of each of the vectors to be 0, right? Essentially what we did down here in terms of converting a vector 2 to a vector 3, but we want to do that here. Yeah. And we don't want to return to 0. We want to return to original position. Can't infer the type. Okay, well, fine. It's a vector 3. Okay, so this is not enough. Oh, no, this will be fine. What we want to do is essentially we want to say, so the idea with this was that each of the parameters to tween method here was essentially representing where we wanted to go to. And so then the next step was picking up from wherever that was to another place. Right? So what we can do is we can just say, for each of these, add original position. Yes. And then this set shake offset really just needs to assign the offset here. Now, I think there is an easier way to do this, or a way that doesn't involve us having to... Hold on, let's take a look at something. I think there's a method that we want here. Shake tween dot tween property. Right, then we tell it the object and the property and the final value. The initial value by default is the property's value at the time the tweening starts. So this will be more compact, right? Because then we can say, do var parent, get parent, If not parent, return. Yeah. Then we don't need original position either, or do we? We do, because we want... Yeah. So, parent, okay. And then what we want to do is we want to say parent global... No. We want it to be... Yeah, that. This, all of this, which is what Copilot is suggesting there. So we'll take that. And then we want to... This will essentially say, once we've done the first tween, at least this is my interpretation of this, and we're going to find out if that's true or not, is that once we've tweened to the original position plus this, then we'll do this, and then we do the rest. Yeah. So, and then we don't need this method any longer. So not only is this more compact, we have like one less argument, but we don't need an extra function. So let's run this, and oh, interesting. What did I do right there? I like 4x'd it and paused it, and then... Huh. Can we just like 1x and unpause? There we go. So it shakes, but it doesn't move from its original... It returns to its original position. So our pathfinding won't break if the target moves. Okay, well that was a little diversion from the next thing we wanted to do, which was to add a character. Okay, save all that. And so the enemy, we have an animation player. We have a skeleton and a character, and a collision shape. So I'm going to copy all of those into target. We're going to change target to just be a node. 3D. Okay. Oh. Are we? I guess we don't use collision for the target, so we don't need a collision shape for the target. There we go. Okay, so we have this mesh, and we have a surface. We have a skin. Now what we want to do is let's see, where is show and file system? Okay, so we have zombie a.material. And now we have the chance to make a new material, new standard material, that we are going to add survivor male B 2. There we go. Well, that was easy. If only everything could just be that easy. And then we'll save this material. Save as... where is that? Assets, textures. I'm gonna save this as survivor male B dot material. Okay. So now our target is this guy. We have an animation player. Idle is default animation, so he'll stand there and breathe. As we play the game, it's broken. Script inherits from... Okay, so our script is broken because it assumed the script would be attached to a mesh instance. But otherwise it didn't matter. So all right, so play now. So did you know there's a zombie walking towards you? Oh no. Ow. Let me save you. All right. It's almost like a game. Now, I think a bunch of things need to be tuned here in terms of like timing. Oh, yeah, he's gonna lose. Oh yeah, also this is a bug. Yeah, amongst other things. Oh yeah, and it okay, so I need to figure that out. Ignore the logs. So amongst other things, the preview of the placement of objects is like a physical object in the world. So it'll move stuff around. Probably don't want that. Maybe we'll focus on the obstacle stuff next, right? So the placeable obstacle needs to not have collision, and it needs to not yeah, it needs to not do things. Okay, so that'll be the next thing we